Module 3, MOOC Content Production, Lesson 1, Digital Learning Resources. In this lesson, we aim for you to understand about the ABC to LD learning design method, about digital learning resources, and the licenses which you can use in education. ABC to LD method is a framework which is based on 6 learning activities, and it's coming from Diana Laurillard's book, Teaching as Design Science, and was further developed through the ABC to VLE Erasmus Plus project led by University College London, and in which also Polytechnica University of Timișoara was partner. If you believe as a teacher in the philosophy of learning by doing, then this method is for you. You will be able also to work in a collaborative and constructive way, because you will combine this with activities with the other stakeholders, like your colleagues or your students. The 6 activities are based on acquisition, and to be able to use digital learning resources in acquisition, you will have videos, animation, webcasts, podcasts, and a lot of others. Then on collaboration, and if you will learn by doing, then you will rely on a lot of small groups activities where digital learning resources and videos, and also a joint digital output, even as an augmented reality product or an animation, will be useful. The next step, the next activity, is based on discussion. For this, you will be able to have online tutorials, discussion forum, but you can also encourage your students to produce videos and have a video conference system to discuss online if they will be learning fully online. But for all of this, you will need to implement the entire product and framework of the ABC to LD learning design, as you will be able to also encourage your students to learn by investigation. And for this, you will be able to compare a lot of digital text, a lot of other video resources or animation. Learning through practice will enable the student to learn by doing. And for this, a lot of tools can be used, as microworlds, as simulations, as videos, and even augmented and virtual reality. If you want to encourage students to use virtual labs, then a lot of the content will need to be produced by you beforehand as a massive digital learning resource. If you will encourage your students to learn by production, for this the students will really act and will produce products, and this can have a variety of formats coming from photos, videos, sounds, animation, webcasts, blogs, and even e-portfolios. If we speak about digital learning resources, we need to understand what are these. They are usually materials which are born digital, or they are transformed from the analog format into a digital format. They can take different formats, and they can be online or mobile resources, they can be multimedia artifacts, or even documents. For this, we need to understand that the main attribute of a digital learning resource is that they need to have a single learning outcome. They need to be used only for a learning activity or for achieving a certain ability or a learning goal. Different materials can be introduced then in virtual learning environments, like, for example, Moodle or any other platform which your university has. The main scope of the digital learning resources is to make resources available, accessible, and contextualized. For this, they will need to be available for everybody, and they will require from teachers different digital skills and competencies to produce them. This lesson and this entire module is targeting to present you with these abilities. What are the main benefits of digital learning resources? They usually stimulate the behavior of the learner. They encourage the student for discussion and dialogue, and they also encourage conceptual understanding, which is vital, especially in a constructivist method of learning. They will be based on different types. The first one is obviously images. The images usually add to the teacher explanation, they visualize the context, and they encourage the learner to understand better different formats and different structures. It's mainly used in sciences, but not only to this. Other type is simulation. Simulations allow to understand better what is explained and to understand also experiments. Again, science is usually the place where it is mainly used. Animation are a strongly digitally learning resource, which also encourage the 3 or 2 dimensions of the animations and encourage students to understand better and even play sometimes interactively with some of these digital learning resources. Obviously, one of the most used is the electronic textbook, either as a simple PDF or a simple HTML page with several links and several resources. The best will be if they will have links and resources included. The one of the most used, and especially in the MOOC type courses, is videos like this one, where the concept is easier to understand because it's explained by someone which has a human face, and it's also showcasing sometimes a process or different other attributes. The other learning resource which is widely used in MOOCs is quizzes. You will also have several quizzes in this content, in this lesson, and also in this entire course. They are usually the best method for self-assessment. They can be used for self-assessment, but also for final evaluation and assessment. Games is the other learning type which is fully used and very widely used because it allows students to test their ideas, to strategize the information, and also to build up their knowledge and to have better experiment. Learning objects is a variety of different tools. They can be even augmented and virtual reality or other tools which are embedded fully into the virtual learning resources and can be reused in different other courses or by several other people. To use digital learning resources, you need to understand how to search, find, and even create these. For this, the best will be to understand about licenses. Licenses are vital, especially when we speak about the digital world. The first step is to check with your university what are their educational licenses policies, especially for the products which you will produce. The next is contact your library, your digital media unit, your e-learning center, or any IT support, which will indicate where are the libraries, where you can find digital educational resources, or how to be able to use them. The best will be to use the open educational principles. For this, you will rely also on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is the 4th one, the quality of education, and the sustainability one, if you will produce open educational resources. To be able to produce open educational resources, you will use the Creative Commons license. All the licenses come in different subjects. The first one is obviously the public domain. But the public domain is not the same as the free online domain. It's never eligible for copyright or has a copyright which expired because it's before, depending on the countries, it was done 50 years ago. Obviously, a lot of the intellectual property licenses are based on the copyright and then the Creative Commons. Copyright is the most restrictive one. You need to buy access to those digital learning resources. The most used nowadays in the open education and the higher education universities in Europe at least are the Creative Commons licenses, which are permitting free reuse, modification, and sharing. The Creative Commons license are based on different principles. You can share something for remixing, or you can only share something which can be reused as it is with no modification. You can also create a product and reuse it and remodify it and also use it for commercial reasons. There are different layers and they depend on how the Creative Commons license was applied by the creator. You can produce also your digital learning resources and apply the Creative Commons license, which is the best suitable for the products which you are producing. And this table will help you to understand how to create them and how to apply the Creative Commons license. Where you can apply the Creative Commons. They are usually the best because it allows you to share original work, which is made by you or by your peers. It also incorporates CC license works, which is allowing you to use what others have been producing in your educational course. But the best is that extend the impact of the knowledge which you have produced, and it also creates a cycle for sharing. Not least, it saves money for your students, for your teachers, and also for yourself. In this lesson, we have been learning about digital learning resources, about the ABC to LD learning design, and about different licenses and the Creative Commons license. You will find a lot of resources in this lesson unit, and also a quiz, which we kindly ask you to complete.